Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And as I'm doing so throughout the entire year, I am going through the entire Disney animated collection. And today we are doing the 1944 film, The Three Caballeros. Here is your trivia question for today. What fictional character does Pablo the Penguin run into? The answer will be at the end of this episode. So our film starts off with us finding out that it's Donald Duck's birthday, and apparently the presents that he has received are the segments that we will see in this film. So the first segment is called The Cold-Blooded Penguin, starring Pablo the Penguin, who has decided that he is going to cut his home away from the ice and float to warmer weather and hopefully find that perfect home. Then we have a segment all about different and interesting birds, including one known as the Araquan, who decides to keep showing up throughout the rest of the film. Next, we have a story called The Flying Gauchito, which is about a young gaucho who climbs into the mountains looking for condors and ends up finding a winged donkey. The next segment takes place in Bahia, where Donald Duck's old friend Jose Carioca joins back up with him to show him this area of Brazil. It's here where Donald and Jose befriend a cookie seller as the three of them dance, party, and just have a good time in Bahia. Next up, Donald and Jose open another present for Donald that is labeled Mexico. And this is how we meet Panchito Pistoles, who not only becomes friends with Donald and Jose, but the three of them become the Three Caballeros. Panchito tells the other two about Las Posades, the Mexican retelling of the journey of Mary and Joseph searching for shelter. He also introduces Donald to his first piñata. He even then takes the two of them on a tour of Mexico upon a flying serape. And then, of course, there's the final segment of the film, which does involve music and a lot of trippy sequences that probably would be enhanced by some sort of mind altering drug. Fantasia was the real first attempt at doing a scene of mixing live action and animation, as they had that moment with Mickey and Leopold Stokowski. But in this film, this was the first time that they attempted a full length segment. This movie was apparently the last Disney animated feature film that was released during World War II. The movie was released on the 10th anniversary of the creation of Donald Duck. This is why in the film we find out that it's Donald Duck's birthday, although in the movie it's only revealed that it's on Friday the 13th. It isn't until 1949, where the short Donald's Happy Birthday, that we find out that it is officially March 13th. This movie was the first animated appearance of Panchito Pistoles, and he was also the first Mexican character for Disney animation. Joaquin Garay does the voice of Panchito for this film. Garay's son, Joaquin Garay III, would actually go on to play Paco in the 1980 film Herbie Goes Bananas. Panchito Pistoles would be popular enough in Mexico that he would end up being used as a symbol on military Mexican fighter squadron airplanes. The Araquan bird is not a real bird, and is also voiced by Pinto Colvig, well, sung by Pinto Colvig, who is primarily known as the voice of Goofy during this time. The Flying Gauchito segment was originally written for Saludos Amigos, but ended up not being used. The singer from the Bahia segment is Aurora Miranda, who happens to be the younger sister of celebrity and signature outfit wearer Carmen Miranda. Daisy Duck, who around this time was already established as Donald's girlfriend, is never mentioned in the film, specifically so that it wouldn't be so bad with Donald lusting after other women. You know the point in the film where the Caballeros visit the beach? Well, that entire beach sequence was actually just the Walt Disney Studios parking lot converted into an area looking like a beach. At one point, there was an additional segment called The Pelican and the Snipe. Instead, this would be used as a short later on. Walt Disney did actually have plans for a film called The Four Caballeros, with a new character that would be introduced, but no information is given about what their name was, other than they were probably going to be related to Panchito, and it was going to be set in Cuba. Even though there was never a sequel film, cartoonist Don Rosa actually made several sequels in the form of comics. In 2002, both Jose and Panchito would appear on the television series House of Mouse. This is also where Panchito would reveal his full official name, Panchito Romero Miguel Junipero Francisco Quintero Gonzalez III. Panchito and Jose would also make a cameo appearance in the 2017 DuckTales reboot. Then in 2018, the Three Caballeros would actually get their own animated series called Legend of the Three Caballeros. So when it comes to the film, The Three Caballeros, I really did like this one. I enjoyed it more than Saludos Amigos, and that's mainly due to the fact that I think all of the segments were a bit more entertaining. So I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Now it's time for the trivia question from the beginning of this episode. What fictional character does Pablo the Penguin run into? So while Pablo is sailing, he does at one point pass by one of the Chilean islands, and on it he sees the character Robinson Crusoe. The reason why they put this nod to the character in there is because novelist Daniel Defoe based the character of Robinson Crusoe off of a Scottish sailor named Alexander Selkirk, who was actually stranded off the islands of Chile for 5 years. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews, and if there is a movie you'd like to see get a review, just mention it in the comments.